everybody, Will McBride here from my studio outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, bringing you another combo amp review. This one I'm really excited about because it's an amp that I recently found out about. I wasn't aware of it, and happened to get a decent deal on it, and discovered it as a result of that. And I was looking for a grab and go kind of amp with a lot of features on it, but it needed to be small, and because I have a small group that I'm working with now, and this really fit the bill, and I'm really excited that I got it. It's a Supro Delta King 12, and it's a 15 watt amp in a really small cabinet, but it's got a 12-inch speaker in it. So that was crucial for the sound that I was looking for. It's a Class A tube amp, but it only has two power tubes. I'm sorry, it only has two tubes. One power tube, a 6L6 power tube, and it has a 12AX7 preamp tube. It features a solid state rectifier, but it also has some other really cool features. It has a 3-band EQ on it, treble, mid, and bass. It has a master volume, which allows you to get some cool edgy type sounds. That edge over that you guys probably know by now that I like. It's got an analog spring reverb, which is really cool. It's got a boost switch and a gain switch, or a drive switch, I guess is what they call it. And they're located next to each other, so you can kind of flip them almost at the same time. I'll show you that right here. And what's really also cool about it is, like I said, it's a small amp. The cabinet's only 17 inches wide by 16 inches tall by 7.5 inches deep. That's really small. And my bathroom scale says that it weighs 21 pounds. Now I realize their website tells me it says it weighs 28 pounds. But I think my bathroom scale is pretty close. I have other reasons to want that to be true. Anyway, so it's really light. It's easy to carry around. It's got the 12-inch speaker in it rather than a 10-inch speaker. That makes a big sound difference. Another cool feature it's got is that it has, on the back of the amp, a foot switch jack and a preamp out and a power amp in. So I won't be showing you that today because I don't own the foot switch. But I'm just going to show you how the amp works. I mean, you can understand what the foot switch does. So anyway, it's a really cool amp. I'm excited to show it to you, and I'm going to show you everything about it that I can do. So here we go. All right, so here's the Supro Delta King 12, and again I'm going to exercise it with my Switchback Guitar Works City Boy. You saw the t-shirt I had on earlier in the video, which you won't get to see in this segment probably, but I'm a proud endorser of that brand. Mike Package outside of Pittsburgh makes a terrific custom guitar. This particular one has bird's eye maple neck, which I dig. It's got two single coil pickups, one at the neck and one in the middle, and then of course it's got the humbucker in the back. So it's kind of a Strat knockoff, but it's got some great tone for Strat tones, the quacky stuff, but it also has the humbucker stuff, and I'll show you all that stuff. Anyway, so the first thing I want to do is show you how I've got it set up now. And I have it set up, this particular amp has the knobs, expecting that the person who adjusts them will be standing behind the amp, which never happens for me. So all the words are upside down. But you can see I have the master volume up around 2 o'clock, rotated upside down. And then reverb is about, well, I'm going to take the reverb off for now. I'm going to turn that off. And then I've got the 3-band EQ. I got bass at about 10 o'clock. I've got mids about 2 o'clock. I've got the treble at about 2 o'clock as well. I've got the boost switch off, and the boost switch on and the drive switch off. But I'm going to start with the boost switch off, so I can show you that. And then the actual preamp volume, the volume is at about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. So the master volume is a little higher than the preamp volume. All right, so be that as it may, I've shown you that. So this will allow me to get a nice clean sound, not too loud, that will have a nice EQ to it. So that's kind of what I was looking for. And I'll take it off standby. There you go, nice little clean sound. So then I'm going to show you a little bit about the how the master volume affects, because there's two things about this amp that are really cool. One, you can set it up with the master volume low. I'm going to turn it down to about 10 o'clock and turn the preamp volume up about 3 o'clock. Turn the master down and the preamp up. Again, with no boost on. And now you can hear. You'd be able to hear, it should drive a little bit, and then I'll flip the boost switch on to give you a little bit more juice to it. It really just, the boost switch gives you what I think is a noticeable boost in volume, but it also gives you a little bit of high end, which I think sounds different. I'm going to try to demonstrate that for you now. Let's get a little bit more volume to it. I'm going to turn the master up to about 11:30, and the preamp volume up beyond 3 o'clock. Now let's put the boost on. So you can hear it kind of edge over a little bit. I really like the natural preamp drive. So that's what that does. You notice without the boost, it didn't do that. With the boost, it kind of pushes it over the edge a little bit. So that's a way to get that natural preamp tube drive. Now, if we couple that, if we flip off the boost and turn on the drive, it's that Pigtronics thing. Pigtronics fat high gain mode is what they call it. That's your drive signal. So you can see that you have clean. You can get a preamp tube breakup, and you can get an all full-on overdrive out of this amp, which is really cool. I really like it very much. So now let's put it back. Let's turn this back down a little bit, get a little bit more of a clean sound with the master up and the preamp volume down. Turn the drive off. And I'm going to leave the EQ the way it was, but I'm going to bring up the reverb a little bit and let you hear that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty nice. It's a little bit over the top if you turn it all the way up, which, if you'll remember from a previous video, I don't like it completely like that, but it's kind of cool this way. I am gonna push the boost on a little bit and get a little bit of drive on this, a little bit, because I want to demonstrate how that sounds. now you hear what the reverb sounds like, kind of edged over a little bit with the tube preamp drive. Now, if we can get a little bit more of a less, I'm going to leave the boost on, but now I'm going to go back to the more clean master volume up, preamp volume down a little bit. That should work, and then I'm going to push the reverb back down to about a little bit, about 930, close to 10, which is kind of on this amp. This is kind of where I like it. So there you get the idea of how a nice bit of reverb on top of a clean guitar in a single coil mode sounds with all that stuff. All right, so I'm going to change the EQ on it a little bit just to give you an idea. I'm going to pull the mids down and pull the treble up and put a little bass up just to kind of scoop the mids a little bit and give you a sound of what that's going to sound like. Now I'm going to put it back up with a little bit with the reverb almost all the way down. Almost all the way down. I'm going to push the mids up, push the bass and treble a little bit back, so it's kind of a mid-range kind of thing. So I didn't tell you what I was going to do. In the middle of it, I turned the boost off and the drive on for the lead, and then at the end of the lead, I turned the boost back on and the drive back off for the rest of it. So you kind of get an idea how the foot switch may work if you were able to do that. Obviously, I don't have a foot switch. And I think that's pretty much it. Again, it's got a lot of features. It's got the standby switch, which is really nice for saving your tubes when you're on break. And also, well, it's just a good thing to have. It's got a master volume, so you can get that preamp breakover. It's got the 3-band EQ. It's got reverb. It's got a boost, which I use most of the time because it gives me a little bit of a high mid kind of a bump. And then it's got the drive, which if you don't have an overdrive pedal, this does that for you. It's a single input, as I did not mention before, but I should have. It's got this really cool vibe, which I really like, this kind of vintage vibe, which is really nice. And it weighs only about, in the low 20s. So it's a nice grab and go amp.